Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Boogie Nights from 1997. It's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson and stars Mark Wahlberg and Burt Reynolds. Wow, what a wonderful palate cleanser after the trash trilogy that was Boogeyman and a third Todd Sheets movie in so many reviews to get to watch and review Boogie Nights. A fucking man, I say, because Boogie Nights is a masterpiece. Every separate piece of this film come together to make cinematic perfection. The soundtrack is an absolute killer as classic track after classic track pumps through your speakers. The performances are fine as fuck, both the actors acting in the film and their characters acting in the adult films with a quality that you'd find in a 50 Decrepit Crypt and Nightmares movie, and the 70s and the 80s come back to life in the excellent production design sets and costumes. Now, I rave about this film, but it isn't my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film, as that is his later film Magnolia, which also happens to be my favorite film of all time, depending on the day because some days it trades places with An Evening with Beverly Loughlin. The only thing I'd say I don't like about Boogie Nights is that while the soundtrack is excellent and is over 24 songs easily, the official soundtrack of the film is only 13 of those classic songs. I felt so cheated when I bought that CD as a high school student because so many of my favorite songs didn't make the soundtrack cut. But that's small potatoes and doesn't affect the actual film. The thing I love most about this film is the scenes from the adult films they show because the acting is so wooden and deer in headlights until they get down to the sexing. It's hilarious and never fails to make me laugh. Actually, I take that back. My favorite thing about this movie is that when they get to the 1980s and coked out John C. Reilly is so incredibly coked out in look and sound and absolutely everything. Another of my favorite things about this movie is the character played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, because it is so unapologetically raw and tragic. Also, William H. Macy is great and fuck. Everyone is great. Everyone does an absolutely fan-fucking-tastic job, with the only exception being the person who chose to only feature 13 songs on the soundtrack album. And furthermore, how none of them were the Till Tuesday classic Voices Carry. That's alright, because Amy Mann would get almost every song on Paul Thomas Anderson's next film. She does pretty much the entire soundtrack for Magnolia, which certainly adds to its charm. Boogie Nights is getting an A+ for me because, duh. Join me tomorrow when I watch the film Book Club. See y'all then.